Hey, what's going on, CoinOpTV subscribers? Robert walking here with Star Wars The Force Awakens coming out this week. I thought, you know what? Let me dig up my Star Wars book collection and show you guys in a video. So let's start off with the book or the story that kicked things off. The Star Wars trilogy, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. It just says here Star Wars because that's what it was originally named. They added A New Hope afterwards. A New York Times bestseller, paperback with all three together there. It's actually a good read. If you're a Star Wars fan and you've never read the actual novels of the book, they're great, and they have like little extra tidbits of information inside the book there. So I have that in paperback form, and then I actually picked it up in sort of a larger trilogy version here from Daly, special omnibus edition. May the Force be with you. I think it's the same stuff, just a little bigger print. And here's another version of The Empire Strikes Back novel there by Donald Glut. You can see this one's beat up a little bit. So here's one of the early Star Wars novels that came out, Splinter of the Mind's Eye, Alan Dean Foster. Now, let me just say, if you hadn't realized this already, these are all non-canon books, pretty much. Here's some of the kids series, The Glove of Darth Vader. These actually have some cool illustrations in them, which sort of attracted me. I don't remember if I've ever read these, but I just kind of, as a comic book collector and stuff, I like that they had cool images there. The Glove of Darth Vader. So yeah, none of this stuff exists officially. This is all expanded universe stuff. Zorba the Hutt's Revenge. Nice cover there. And we have The Lost City of the Jedi. Star Wars, Luke. C-3PO on the cover there. Let's check out some more trade paperbacks. We have Star Wars Dark Apprentice, Volume 2 of the Jedi Academy Trilogy from Kevin J. Anderson. The blockbuster saga continues. Dark Apprentice. I don't even remember what's going on in any of these books here. As the New Republic takes devastating losses in the ongoing war with the scattered remnants of the Empire, the galaxy's future depends on three small children. Among them, the Jedi twins. So this is after the Timothy Zahn novels. We'll get to those shortly. Did you know that Han and Princess Leia had twins in the books? Who knows what's going to happen in the movies? Book 1 of the Corellian trilogy, Han Solo's home planet erupts in war. Ambush at Corellia. And C-3PO on the back there. So yeah, it was for years and years, these Star Wars books and comics sort of existed as kind of expanding the universe of Star Wars. This is Volume 3 in the Jedi Academy Trilogy, Champions of the Force. And it was interesting to see not long ago when Disney bought Lucasfilm, they just scratched all these books. All these stories don't count as canon. They're not official. I mean, they're just fun stories to read that aren't part of the canon universe. They don't apply. Star Wars Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina by Kevin J. Anderson. He wrote a lot of the... He's a really famous novelist there. He's got a lot of books out there. This is cool. It's like a little cantina scene there. In a far corner of the universe, on a small desert planet of Tatooine, there's a dark, nicotine-filled cantina where you can down your favorite intoxication while listening. So it's basically more stories from the cantina, probably with Greedo and Hammerhead and some of the other colorful characters that were in the cantina here. Star Wars is Volume 1 of the Jedi Academy Trilogy, Jedi Search. Go. Look at Kevin J. Anderson, $3.49 there. Alright, let's go to the Star Wars The Courtship of Princess Leia, New York Times bestseller. Basically any Star Wars book that came out I picked up. Some of these I haven't even read, like this. I don't even know if I read this. Dan Wolverton. George Lucas brought us the blockbuster Star Wars film trilogy. Some of the science fiction is best expanded in the adventures of best-selling Star Wars novels. Oh, there you go. You put expanded there. $3.59. That's a nice price for a novel. It's a nice cover. And then this one was an early one here, the Star Wars The Han Solo Adventures. And this is the 3 books. Han Solo at Star's End, Han Solo's Revenge, and Han Solo and the Lost Legacy. Brian Daly. He's a really good storyteller, novelist. If you see Brian Daly's name on something, definitely worth checking out. And then, lo and behold, Lando Calrissian actually had a little trilogy book too. Who knew that? The Lando Calrissian Adventures, Lando Calrissian and the Mind Harp of Sharu, Lando Calrissian and the Flame Wind of Volsion, Lando Calrissian and the Star Cave of Thunbakad. Not sure if I'm saying all that stuff correctly. Risk it all with Lando Calrissian and this Thrill-A-Minute trilogy. So you get to relive some of Lando's adventures. Alright, let's get over to the big stack here. So did you know that there was a Star Wars radio dramatization of the movies? Yes, that's right, and they actually made a radio dramatization where people acted out the story as a radio show, and these are actually the books that have the script from that radio show dramatization there. So this is the Star Wars 1 radio play by Brian Daly, based on characters by George Lucas, the original script of the NPR Star Wars adaptation. And I have these on a cassette. If you can find these somehow, they're worth listening to because they actually have a lot of extra things in there that weren't in the movies. Some original stuff here, and here it actually says some additional stuff. How did Princess Leia and the rebels get the plans for the Death Star? Just what was so dangerous about Beggar's Canyon? So it's if you're a trivia buff or a Star Wars nerd like me, these are a great read, or if you can find them and listen to them. I'm not quite sure if they're out of print or what. Here's the Empire Strikes Back one. If the cassettes or the DVDs or the CDs, this is before DVDs are out of print or the books are out of print. And here's the Return of the Jedi one. Great covers and everything, and I'll show you. It's actually in like script, like play form. There's some photos there. We've got like Han Solo, 3PO. What's holding up that hyperdrive diagnostic? 3PO. Sorry, sir, my damaged photoreceptor appears to be giving me a bit of double vision. So you can make the characters come to life. Now, let's push that aside. This is the baby right here. This is my favorite one of my favorite Star Wars books. Star Wars Heir to the Empire. Timothy Zahn was the author. We had kind of a lot of corny Star Wars books, a lot of fun ones, but then Timothy Zahn came out with the Heir to the Empire trilogy and expanded upon Luke, Leia, Chewbacca, Solo, and just kind of took things forward, and it was a real serious tone, in the style of Star Wars. I mean, people kind of forget that the Star Wars, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, before Lucas kind of tampered with them, were actually pretty serious movies. There was some dark stuff happening in them. Here is Star Wars Volume 2 of the 3-book cycle, Dark Force Rising by Timothy Zahn. Unfortunately, these characters, added to the expanded universe stuff, or the legacy, whatever they're calling it, not part of the canon, but just thought I'd make this video to kind of, a little tribute, a little reminder, especially to these Timothy Zahn movies, these Timothy Zahn books, these three right here. If you're in doubt, if you're a serious reader, pick up these three. Here's book 3, The Last Command. My cover's getting a little warped here. I got these hardcover, if you couldn't tell. Rave reviews, and these were like #1 bestsellers here. Moves with the speed of light pace that captures the spirit of the movie trilogy so well you can almost hear John Williams' soundtrack. Now that's a great quote right there by the Providence Sunday Journal. Alright, sticking with the hardcover books, Kevin J. Anderson is back. Star Wars Dark Saber. With the usual suspects there, Han, Leia, Luke on the front there. I don't remember if I've ever read this one at all, but I think this follows up after the Heir to the Empire trilogy. And we got Shadows of the Empire, Emperor there. We got Darth Vader. It's funny, you see Darth Vader is pretty much on every Star Wars thing, but as you can see from these covers, he wasn't prominently featured. We got Boba Fett right there. It's a time of crisis. Han Solo frozen in carbonite being taken to the vile gangster Jabba the Hutt. Okay, so this must be in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I think there was a video game for Shadows of the Empire or something. I seem to remember their toys or video games or or something. You know, now that I'm flipping through these, all the memories are starting to come back. Here's Star Wars: The Crystal Star from Vonda and McIntyre. Look at Chewie on the cover there, a mysterious figure. Who could that be? If you guys have read this book, let me know in the comments below who this mysterious figure is. Oh, Millennium Falcon on the back there. Of course, Millennium Falcon and Force Awakens is going to have a little revamp to it. This looks like it follows in the order of Heir to the Empire and the Truce of Bakara, which I don't know if I have that one. I don't think I have that in my collection. Alright, and the last hardcover book I have is Star Wars Children of the Jedi. And you can see some Tusken Raider down here. Must have been back to Tatooine, sand people. And this is from Barbara Hambly. I don't remember if I ever read this. I think I picked this up. $22. I tell you, if you have Costco nearby, Costco has great prices on books. Alright, so those are like Star Wars books. Then I have a few other bonus stuff here. The Jedi Masters quiz book, which is pretty great. Compiled by Rusty Miller. Look at that little photo there. It must have been him as a kid. And here's I Just As Soon Kiss a Wookiee, the quotable Star Wars. Compiled by Stephen J. Sansweet. He's a famous Star Wars collector. Let's see. Well, I got some like Jackie Chan trading cards in here randomly. I guess that's the cover of the I Am Jackie Chan book. That's funny. Let's see. Let's get a quote. "Don't worry, she'll hold together. You hear me, baby? Hold together. Han to the Falcon." So there we go. There's a little photo. Well, that's cool. Little quotes. "Look, Jabba. Next time you want to talk to me, come and see me yourself. Don't send one of those twerps." You really say twerps? I don't remember twerps. And then we have the Guide to the Star Wars Universe from Airspeeder to Zorba the Hutt. Of course, Zorba the Hutt has now been, all the stuff is expanded. Here we go. Know about the expanded universe in Star Wars. So I guess they kind of knew that, this would be not officially canon. So there's a quick look at my collection of Star Wars novels. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As you can tell, I'm a big Star Wars fan, much looking forward to Star Wars The Force Awakens. If they come out with a book for the Star Wars The Force Awakens, I may pick that up and check it out. I kind of have some gaps in my collection. I haven't really gotten any of the Star Wars books from like the last few years, so if there's a book that you guys specifically recommend that's a Star Wars novel, canon or not canon, let me know in the comments below. And most of all, if there's a book in my collection that you guys have read, let me know in the comments below what some of your favorites are or which ones you've already read or checked out. For CoinOpTV, we'll see you guys next time.